Ever wonder why some real estate agents soar while others barely survive? Is it luck? Connections? No. It often boils down to avoiding these critical errors that you see agents making every single day. Hey everyone, Spencer Sue here. In the last 7 years, we've helped over 300 families successfully with their moves. So my goal of this channel is to help you navigate the ever-evolving world of real estate and achieve the success you deserve. Now, I've seen firsthand the challenges agents face, and in this video, we're going to be diving into some of the most common mistakes that hold them back, and crucially, what you can do about it. Number one, it's going to be the lack of a consistent lead generation strategy. If you're relying solely on referrals or waiting for leads to come to you, you're going to have a very difficult time. Why is that? Because unless you are super famous or super popular, they're not going to be coordinating your name with real estate. They may think of you what you did previously. They may think of you as a friend. They may not trust that you're going to be able to deliver the value of being able to help them navigate in terms of helping them buy or sell homes, right? So you have to be proactively reaching out to people. You have to be proactively reprogramming their minds so that they can correlate your name as a realtor that they should trust in the area. Now, this is a very difficult challenge for some, right? Because a lot of people are like, I don't want to keep bothering my friends. They're going to think of me differently. Well, let's be upfront about it. If it's not that way, you may risk them to use somebody else. Would you feel good if they actually use somebody else just because they didn't know you're in the business of real estate? Probably not. Right? Now, because of this too, you got to be the one that stays top of mind for these individuals when it comes time. Now, is it every 3 months? Is it every 6 months? It's your goal is to be staying relevant to them. Now, the good news is that you don't have to always pitch and talk about real estate. You can always go to family events. You can go to friends events. You can go to parties, right? They can still like you, and then they still know that you're in real estate so that whenever the time comes, they can always reach out to you. But you still gotta drop that breadcrumbs so that they know they can put things together. Next, the other thing is related to being a closet agent. I remember when I first get onto the business, I was working a W-2 job. So I was working somewhere else. I was always very scared of not being able to market myself correctly. And that was a real case. After my job was over at my W-2 and I did real estate full time, that really allowed me to open up. I can do whatever I want on social media. I can do whatever I want publicly. I don't have to have a company that's watching over me in terms of what I'm doing or if I'm actually putting in the work, or at least the feeling impression if I put in the work. So here's my solution for you for all the different things. You have to map out on a daily and a weekly schedule. What should you be doing every single day? What should you be doing every single week? Does it add up to those weekly goals? You gotta be proactive. So you gotta do several things. Proactively reach out. Compile a list of all the people that you know. Reach out actively every X amount of months. Take them out coffee. Grab dinner, do what you need to do, right? To get in front of them, to have these kind of conversations. The other thing that you got to do is figure out what you should be doing weekly. Like, are you achieving your goals? Maybe weekly you attend events, you do some sort of sports, right? You do some sort of parent club. There's also different things that you can do there. The next thing you got to do in terms of solutions is you got to figure out multiple lead sources. Not only do you have a daily and weekly activity, you got to figure out what are the things that you want to strive to be better at. This could be doing online content, which is social media, like something like this on YouTube. It could be offline content, so it could be garage sales, it could be networking events, right? It could be something in person, right? These are all different things that you can do to figure out what can you be committed to doing consistently. Because if you go to a networking event, think about it, like no one's gonna trust you yet. Unless you're that charismatic, no one's gonna trust you or care about you. But if you go to it repeatedly, they'll start gaining your trust. Like, yeah, this guy is gonna be here for the long term. I'm gonna use that person when it comes to doing something. And last but not least, you gotta invest time in building your online presence. Commit and spend the time, because you gotta make posts. You gotta engage with people online. These are things that are not complicated, but these are the things that are critical for you to have some success online and for people to ultimately, eventually trust you and reach out to you inbound. And last but not least, as you are progressing on this, you got to measure this, right? You want to figure out, is it best to keep deploying these efforts on networking events, online, etc., etc.? You figure that out as a business owner. What's fatal mistake number 2? It's poor time management organization. So you're getting bogged down in admin tasks. You're not prioritizing things effectively. You lack a clear daily and weekly schedule that we just went over. And you're also failing to delegate or automate where possible. Does this all kind of ring a bell to you? The reason why this is important is because think about your dollar per hour. But why don't you do this? Let's take a little bit step back, right? Why don't you think about how a coffee store works? You have generally your cheapest labor force is going to be your barista. And then you have different people that may be stocking things in the back. And so who's the person above? It might be a manager, right? But the manager is not always doing that entry level type of work. So similar to this, there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be entry level. It's still critical to do, but it doesn't make sense for you to do it, right? And you want to figure that out as soon as possible. Now, I don't say outsource everything from day one. You still need to know how to do things, and you still want to lead with revenue, right? You want a business and transactions. But if you're making 70K a year in real estate, you should already start thinking about adding that assistant to help you, because that assistant can help you with social media content. It can help you with maybe doing some errands. It can help you organize things, right? It can help you with the paperwork, right? All of these things are super valuable to do. But even if you did that, you still got to implement the idea of time blocking, right? In my previous video that you'll see over here, I went over this. What does the perfect day look like? And you just follow along with that. And you can see it makes sense, right? So I'm not going to go into more details right now. The other thing you want to do is you want to make sure you're utilizing a proper customer relationship management tool. And that the reason for that is because it allows you to be organized. We use a very popular tool called Sierra, and you can certainly check that out. And there's a link in my description for that. It's something that we still use like for many years now. It's the most powerful CRM, but it's also very easy to use. So that allows you to be reaching out to the people that you feel like should be being reached out to. Super important and critical. And last but not least, you got to focus on these income generating activities, right? You got to know what are the key things that are actually bringing the most value for your time. And at the end of the day, when it comes to real estate, we want to be in front of people, right? We want to meet new people. We want to help them figure out their options, help them buy and sell homes, right? These are the things that we need to be mindful of to be able to give them the service that our customers need, but at the same time, not being bogged down with that kind of work. If you're finding this information valuable and you want more actionable insights to elevate your real estate career, you gotta make sure to hit that subscribe button below and the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos that are packed with these strategies that are always geared towards helping you thrive. What I do for all these videos, I always like to listen to them while I'm driving because you don't actually see them, but you definitely want to hear this over and over again. And we're gonna go over the next fatal mistake: failing to continuously learn and adapt. Right? Even with this, I'm doing this because a lot of people need to be hearing this. But you may be hearing this at different points of your career. Maybe you hear it now, maybe you hear it a year later. You will think differently. The reason why this is so important, because if you do not continue with your learning, you will become complacent. You're not going to be staying updated on market trends and what is working for people. You're going to also be ignoring these new technologies and marketing strategies that are actually working, and that's gaining more market share. You're not improving your own skills, right? Because even with this, even if I gave you leads or you got leads that refer to you from friends and family, you still got to be able to have the knowledge and the skill set to be able to close them, right? And you close them by adding tremendous amount of value, and it would be foolish for them to work with somebody else. These are all super important for you to do to remain on the top of this game, especially when the dropout rate is so high. Now, I'm also not saying you should be just changing things at the whim, right? You don't want to be like, all right, every other day you're doing something new and then you're just kind of going in a flywheel going nowhere. You want to figure out what will work, listen to the content, whether it's me and other coaches or other programs that can help you with the specific thing that you're learning for, and then add that to your list. Document it, dedicate time for ongoing learning for these things, but don't do too many at the same time, right? Choose the right coach for you, someone like myself. Work on specific things that you know works well, that you're trying to improve upon. And then when you run that, then you can start experimenting with new tech and new pillars, right? And so that's how you can continue to grow your business, adding more business. But at the same time, just remember this, like some of these things can go really deep. So you don't need to be like, oh, I just got one client from this, now I can all of a sudden expand to others. You can always go much deeper into it, and then you can get maybe 4 or 5 clients from it. So be really mindful, and that's why what I said before of tracking is so important. The other thing that you can be doing is just be affiliated with the right people. Like, are you surrounded by people that are doing well? The market will always go up and down. And if you're surrounded by people that are pessimistic, you're going to feel bad. Now, make no mistake, like things could be bad. It doesn't mean you should just relax because of it. There are certain things that you can do to then gain your unfair advantage so that when the market does turn, it will be a big benefit for yourself, right? So there's always things that you can do from an effort perspective that others do not see. So there you have it. These are the most common pitfalls that I see real estate agents stumble into. And the good news is that these mistakes are absolutely avoidable with the right awareness and action. Which of these resonated most with you? Let me know in the comments below.